Yes, I just started recording. So, today we are going to discuss solving quadratic inequalities, right? You may have questions like this, or this. So, first of all, let's understand what do we mean by quadratic curves, okay? So, this is a curve, either it's a smiley face or a sad face. So, in order to solve this quadratic inequality, x square minus 5x plus 6 is greater than or equal to 0, you need to understand the portion of the graph that is lying below x-axis. Here, it is negative, and portion of the graph which is lying above x-axis, it's positive here, right? These are the positive portions, these are the negative. So whenever I have to solve, okay, this is a quadratic curve. Now since leading coefficient was positive, I took it at opening upward or a smiley face, right? So x square minus 5x plus 6, so it's x square minus 5x plus 6 is greater than or equal to 0. That means I need the portion of the graph, I need to find the values of x for which this portion of the graph is lying above x-axis. So it's this and this, right? Is that clear? Yes?
Yes, sir.
So x square minus 5x plus 6. First of all, we are going to write corresponding equation here, right? So when we have corresponding equation, that will give us two values of x where this graph is intersecting x-axis. So can you solve it using middle term breaking? I guess that would be x square minus 2x minus 3x plus 6 is equal to 0, right? That gives us x, sorry, x minus 2 minus 3 x minus 2 is equal to 0, giving us x minus 2 and x minus 3 is equal to 0. So it is x minus 2 equal to 0 and x minus 3 equals to 0, giving us x is equal to 2 and x is equal to 3. Now, since it is a smiley curve, it is going to be like this. And these are the points where this line intersects x-axis 2 and 3. Okay, let this be 0. Now we're looking for the portion of the graph here. This graph is above x-axis, right? So it's above x-axis or it's positive here before 2 and after 3. So my final answer for this would be x is less than equal to 2 and x is greater than equal to 3, right? Yes, beta, is that clear? So if we have to solve this inequality, this is what we are going to do. Done? Any question, Alina?
No, sir.
Got it? A few questions. Well, part 1 would be really easy, x into x minus 3. Let me bring it down here. Okay, now here is the question. Question number 1, part A, that is x into x minus 3 less than equal to 0. Now we know that it's a smiley curve, right? And it's zeros. How can we calculate zeros? By putting this whole thing equals to 0, right? So x into x minus 3 is equal to 0, right? So that makes either x is equal to 0 or x is equal to 3. That means 0 and 3 are the points where this graph cuts a x-axis, right? Now, we are looking for the graph portion of the graph which is below x-axis. Less than 0 would mean below x-axis. So when it is below x-axis, this is the portion of the graph that what we are looking for, 0 till 3. So answer to this, we can write 0 till 3. So this is the portion of the graph which is lying below x-axis. Is that clear now? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, for example, if this is part B now, and it says x minus 3 and x plus 2 greater than equal to 0. Okay. Now, what we are going to do is, first of all, we are going to express the corresponding equation that makes it x minus 3 into x plus 2 is equal to 0. Now, for structure of the graph, you can see that coefficient of x square would be positive, giving us this sketch, right? So for zeros, we have x minus 3 is equal to 0 and x plus 2 is equal to 0. That gives us x equals to 3 and x equals to minus 2. So that is minus 2, that is 3. Corresponding equations help us finding the corresponding values where the graph cuts x-axis. Now, if you see here, we are looking for the portion of the graph that is above x-axis. What do you mean by greater than 0? Portion of the graph that is above x-axis. So now this would be somewhere here, minus 2. So this is the portion of the graph that is above x-axis here and after 3. So my final answers are x is less than minus 2 and x is greater than 3. Less than equal to and greater than equal to. Okay? Is that clear? Lina, is that clear, beta?
Yes, sir.
Okay. My next question is part F. So in part F, you could say 1 minus 3x, 2x plus 1. That's less than 0. Yeah. Which is less than 0. Now, okay. Alina, can you tell me what will be the sign with x square? Positive or negative? You multiply minus 3 with 2x, giving us a negative 6x squared. That means this is a negative curve, right? So we would be finding zeros by simply substituting this equal to 0 and finding the range where this is below x-axis. So what do you mean of inequality being less than 0? That means below x-axis. What do you mean by this? Below
Below
x-axis, right?
x-axis.
So it's 1 minus 3x is equal to 0. 1 is equal to 3x. 2x is equal to negative 1. X is equal to 1 by 3 and x is equal to minus 1 by 2. So obviously minus 1 by 2 would be here and 1 by 3 would be here. Now, we are looking for the portion of the graph which is below x-axis. Less than 0 would mean negative or below the x-axis. So we are looking for this portion of the graph or this portion of the graph, right? So my final results would be x is less than minus 1 by 2 and x is greater than 1 by 3. Is it clear?
Yes,
Right?
sir.
If you want to note it down, please note it down. Or if done, we can move on. Done?
Yes.
That's great. Okay, now let's solve a couple of questions in which you have to, simplify it first and then use the inequality concept. This is very important because what we will do in next exercise really needs this knowledge, okay? So that's why you should know this. So, yes. So for question number 2, part A, for example, that is x square minus 25 is greater than equal to 0. Now x square, coefficient of x square is positive. That means it has to give us a concave up or opening upward, right? So x square minus 25, let's solve it. So its corresponding equation is going to be x square minus 25 is equal to 0. X square minus 5 square equals to 0. That would be equal to 0, and so x is equal to minus 5 and x is equal to plus 5. So that means that we are talking about minus 5 and 5, right? Now, here, greater than equal to 0. What do you mean by greater than equal to 0, Lina? That means
Above
above x
the
axis. So, which portion of the graph is above x axis? You can see here and here. So, after 5, so my answer would be x is greater than 5 and x is negative, less than negative 5. Since in the question they have given as greater than equal and less than equal, that's why we do this thing. Done? Is that
yes,
clear?
yes,
Okay. Uh, which part should we try now? Part B, x square plus 7x less than equal to 0. Now, again, that would mean below x-axis, right? And leading x square is positive, coefficient is positive, that means it's a smiley face. So first, let's write its corresponding equation. X square plus 7x plus 10 is equal to 0. Now that is going to be x square. Okay, that is, I guess, plus 2x plus 5x, right? And we have x. That would give us x plus 2 and x plus 5 equals to 0. Okay, is that clear? Now, this is going to be x plus 2 equals to 0 and x plus 5 equals to 0. So x is equal to minus 2 and x equals to minus 5. So that's minus 5, that's minus 2. Now below x-axis, this portion of the graph would be my answer, right? So here you go. So x has to be less than equal to minus 2, greater than equal to minus 5, right? Is that clear?
yes, sir.
Done? Now, yeah, that's how we solve uh, inequalities, given inequalities. And if you want to do any other question, let me know. Which part should we try? Let's try part F. Give it a try. अगर नहीं होता तो फिर मैं कराता हूँ. Part F. Last part. Yes. G. Part F says 4 minus 7x minus 2x square is less than 0. Okay. Now in inequalities, if uh, hello. Yes, Ahmed, can you hear me? Hello. Okay. So less than 0. What we are going to do is we are going to take everything on the other side, that makes it 2x square plus 7x minus 4. So that makes it 2x square plus 7x minus 4 greater than 0. Okay. Now, when we say this thing, that makes it greater than 0 and it's a smiley face, that means the curve would be like this, greater than 0. So let's find out zeros. So 2 fours are 8. That would give us 2x square plus 8x minus 1x minus 4 is equal to 0. So first you take 2x common, that is x plus 4 minus 1, x plus 4 equals to 0. So x plus 4 and 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. That would be x plus 4 is equal to 0. 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. So x is equal to minus 4 and x is equal to 1 by 2. जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मैं आवाज़ आ रही है? आपकी आवाज़ नहीं आ रही मुझे. X is minus 4 and 1 by 2. So these are your answers. That would be 1 by 2 and this is equal to minus 4. Now this has to be greater than 0. That means portion of the graph here, curve is above x-axis. So this is the answer and this is the answer. Right? Is that clear? Ahmed, Alina?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what would be the answer? X is greater than minus 4. We will follow instructions from here. Okay. Here it was like strictly increasing. That's why in answer I'm keeping it as x is less than minus 4 and x is greater than 1 by 2. Okay, just a quick recap for Ahmed. We are like starting solving quadratic inequalities. Okay, greater and less wali cheezein sari. So leading coefficient of x square basically tells you that if it is concave up or concave down or opening upward or opening downward. So for example, we have this quadratic curve and it has to be greater than 0. That means we're looking for the portion of the graph that is lying above x-axis. Okay, this would be my answer, above x-axis. So for that, above and below, we definitely need points of intersection. That means you put y0, you get a quadratic equal to 0. By solving quadratic equation by either method, you can find the intersects 2 and 3 in this scenario. So 2 and 3. So if you go back to the question and see what they have basically asked for, x square minus 5x plus 6 greater than 0. तो ये जो greater होगा ना, you need to remember in mind कि greater का मतलब है above x-axis. So we are looking for part of the graph that is above x-axis, okay, when it says greater than 0. So you can see that below 2 and after 3 it is above x-axis. So you write your answers as x is less than equal to 2 and x is greater and equal to 3. Done? Amen? Is it clear, Rita?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Achha, by the way, I've shared yesterday's recording to you. मिल गई थी?
Yes, sir. अभी तक मैंने शायद डाउनलोड नहीं की लेकिन मिल गई थी.
हाँ. So we did a couple of more questions related to the same. So x into x minus 3 is less than equal to 0. Now this is for sure making a quadratic of x square, which would be positive. That means it's a smiley face or opening upward. And then we need a corresponding equation, and less than 0 is telling me to find out the points of the graph which are below x-axis. So x and x minus 3 is equal to 0. So this would be x equals to 0 and x equals to 3. So 0 and 3. Okay, inequality tells us that find the values of the graph which is below x-axis. So this is what we are looking for from 0 to 3, right? From 0 to 3. Similarly, we solve these questions. Again, x minus 3 and x plus 2 is greater than equal to 0. So again, coefficient of x square is positive. It would be opening upward. Okay? So when it will be opening upward, this is what we need. Plus. And then we need zeros. We will do quadratic equation. We will solve quadratic equation for finding values of x, putting it equal to 0. its x is equal to 3 and x is equal to minus 2. So if this is minus 2, this is 3, that's all we need. And greater than 0 means portion of the graph above x-axis which is happening below 2 and after 3. So your answers are going to be x is less than 2 and x is greater than equal to 3. ठीक है अमित? Hello. Alina, is it clear beta?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Acha. So in short, we are simply solving quadratic equations, nothing else but introducing inequalities, and those inequalities are simply telling me that which portion of the graph above the x-axis we have to take and which portion of the graph below the x-axis we have to take. Okay. Yes, one example we did for below x-axis. So here you go. So now we have x square plus 7x plus 10 is less than 0. Now less than 0 would mean below x-axis. And then x square coefficient is positive 1. This gives us that it is opening upward, right? So if it is opening upward, it must be between 5 and minus 2 for less than 0. Anyways, we will take corresponding equation, we will put it equal to 0, we solve it, and at the end we have x equals to minus 2 and x equals to minus 5. And smiley face opening upward, less than 0 would be only this part. ठीक है, मतलब थोड़ा लेट आए थे बेटा, समझ आ गई बात? Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can solve a couple of questions of your own choice. इनमें से would you be able to solve these as an homework or yes? Ahmed? By the way, मुझे ये तो बताएं कि कल वाला किया है कि नहीं होमवर्क? 14x square plus 17x minus 6, 14 6 are 84. So this is what we need, right? 84 के फैक्टर्स में जिनका सम और डिफरेंस 17 आता है. So 184s are, 242s are, 328s are, 421s are. So 4 and 21 gives us answer as 17. So we are going to simplify this now. 14x square plus 17x minus 6, and we take its corresponding equation. So that is 14x square plus 21x minus 4x. So that would be 7x, I guess. 7 2s are 14, 7 3s are 21, 2 2s are 4, 2 3s are 6. So that gives us 2x plus 3, 7x minus 2 is equal to 0. So 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. 2x is equal to minus 3. X is equal to 2 divided by 7. And x is equal to minus 3 by 2. Right? So minus 3 by 2 and 2 by 7. And again, this is a smiley face. Less than 0 would mean we need to find the range of x values which are lying below x-axis. So minus 3 by 2 and 2 by 7. G. So this portion of the graph is my answer. So x has to be between minus 3 by 2 and 2 by 7. Is it clear? Both of you? Lina, clear hai? Amit? How to, apply this concept for your inequalities. Done? Is it clear? Amit, आप लेट आए थे? Clear है?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Number of roots of a quadratic equation. Okay. When we talk about number of roots, what do we really mean with this? You see, your quadratic equation is intersecting with the x-axis, right? Or the points where it cuts x-axis, those are known as roots. What are roots? Points where any quadratic curve intersects x-axis is known as the roots. So here you go. So we are discussing now number of roots of the quadratic equation, right? We have a quadratic function. The roots of function are basically for this quadratic equation are this, which we get by using maybe quadratic formula or middle term breaking or completing. But there is a thing that helps us determining or finding that how many roots, how many possible roots are there we're going to get. So first, let's see how many possible roots are there. That's the first thing. So this is x-axis and y-axis. So you may solve a question like this, okay? That may intersect the graph at 2 points, maybe alpha and beta, okay? Two roots. So if your curve, quadratic curve intersects x-axis at 2 points, that would be having two real roots. Two real and distinct roots. By saying distinct, we mean like there are two separate, unique roots. But if we have such situation in which your x-axis simply touches the curve at 1 point and rebounds, okay, that means both the roots are alpha and alpha. So we have real and repeated roots, okay. Roots mean x values. And in some scenarios, if happens that your quadratic curve does not touch x-axis, okay, so we don't have any roots. So we call it no real roots. Done? So how many possibilities are there, Lina, for getting roots? We have three possibilities, right? First is if our quadratic curve cuts x-axis at two different unique points, that would be two real and distinct roots. Second would be if the quadratic curve intersects at only 1 point, that would be real and repeated roots. And third one would be if the quadratic curve does not touch x-axis, that would be going to be imaginary roots or no real roots. So you need to remember this. Lina, just repeat better what we just discussed. Be quick, hurry up. How many possibilities related to roots are there for quadratic curves? अहमद आप बता दो